So, another Saturday of the Premier League is over. I'm going to do a full review of the weekend, probably on Monday, give my thoughts on all the games, all the big highlights, letting you guys know what I think about them. There was a lot of interesting results, but today we are just going to be talking about the Liverpool Wolverhampton game. Nervy at times, I think safe to say. Wolves, I predicted it myself actually perfectly that I could see this being a game where Wolves put the pressure on early, get the early goal, and then just sit back and allow us to attack them. There was times where that wasn't the case. They did obviously Huang He-chan scored the first goal. Waltz past the defence, which I'll get onto in a moment. But then there was another opportunity with Neto, let's pass Gomez. It's a good cross into the box, unfortunately for them. It's missed the post. So did it have chances, but it was very much we had the possession. We had 6-7% of the ball. Wolves got that goal, so tried to soak up as much pressure as possible, and held out really well until obviously Gakpo's goal, which again we'll go into in a moment, and then the two late ones. So credit to Wolves. They did very similar to what Bournemouth did last season to us in the 1-0 defeat, where Gary O'Neill, he knows how to get his side set up defensively. He knows that a back five is going to cause us a lot of problems. And that it almost paid off for them today. So commiseration to Wolves, had a very good game. If they can compete like that against the top sides, I'm starting to change my sort of mind about where they might finish. I said they won't get relegated. I still don't think they will. I think they have just enough about them to maybe survive, but it's one of those things. Really, they do need to start getting the results their way. So just a bit to go over it. More from the Liverpool perspective now. So at times, this felt very pedestrian. There was no cohesion in the midfield. It just felt like players were swapping positions constantly. There was no one in a set position. We'd see Szoboszlai coming in deep, coming into the centre of the park. Then he'd be out on the wing. McAllister, he was coming having to come back and defend as a six because there was no set defensive midfielder. The passing was it was like no one knew where anyone was going to be. They didn't have a sort of that in their head where they went, I know that person is going to be there. I know where to put the ball. It wasn't working. And I think the passing accuracy was like 90% by the 40th minute or so. And, that's one in every 10 passes goes to the opposition. And considering the amount of time we passed around the back, it's not great. We really did struggle. And the decision making at times was absolutely poor. And Gakpo, the shot in particular, where it was just the wrong option in the first half. It didn't feel like there was a plan in that first half. It was going through the team. Joe Gomez at times it was so easy to get at. And we saw that with Neto. He ran rings around them. The first goal, he waltzed past the defence. And then again, for the crossing opportunity, which nearly led to a second goal, he just puts it through Gomez's legs and he just gets beaten. He's so static. There's not good movement from him. He doesn't like being on the wing. He likes being in the middle where it's a lot more central sort of thing. He doesn't like being out wide where he's expected to move and turn, and it's just not. It's not what he's there for. So we need to address this problem immediately. I think Kwanzaa didn't have a good first half. Did come off in the second, injured, I believe. Hopefully, it's not too serious. It's a big thing going that long in your first Premier League, second Premier League game. But to start it and to go as long as he did, um, his inexperience showed at times, but then there was times where he was arguably the best defender on the pitch. And I think he's only going to get better. It's only going to benefit him, really. It's not a bad performance from him. Joel Matip, you know what you're pretty much going to get. But again, for that goal, he's just walked past. And, I'll be sad when he leaves. But he's very up and down at the moment. He has a great game, he has a bad game, he has a great game, bad game. And it's a bit inconsistent at this point. In the last match we played against Villa, he was outstanding. And then today he didn't look himself at all, to be honest. Robertson, 200th game for us, or 200th game in the Premier League even. Got made captain for the match, and it showed. He got the goal that got us 2-1 up. he was superb at the back. And you see it for the goal that he scored. Actually, he's bombarding up the pitch. He passes it off to Salah, who passes it back to him, and he taps it in. He made that happen because he took it by the scruff of the neck and just said, "I'm doing this. I am going to win this game," and that's exactly what he did. So fair play to him. But the back line as a whole was just. It doesn't. This Kwanzaa Matip Gomez thing didn't look like it worked. This is the first time we're seeing it, so it's very early days, and it's way too soon to be assuming that it's just not going to work. But from what we've just seen, wasn't amazing. Elsewhere, like I said, the midfield didn't look incredible. Jones didn't have the best of games, if we're being honest. So obviously, very weird one. He had moments, but again, wasn't his best game. If anything, it could possibly be his worst in a Liverpool shirt so far. Just didn't look. No one looked comfortable. There was no. In the past, it's like everyone knew where everyone was going to be. Now it just feels like everyone's chopping and changing, and there's no set position. And I think that sort of threw us off a bit today. And the international football didn't help. McAllister was starting. He'd just been in Bolivia about 30 hours before in high altitude. Um, he's having to have oxygen before and after the game. So, it's obviously not beneficial for him. And it showed, Salah, 3 assists. Again, he wasn't having a great game, but he's still, man of the match and got the 3 assists to get us the win. I don't expect anything else. I don't know if it'd be free actually thinking because Harvey Elliott's goal was a own goal now, so we'd have to see about that one. Gakpo got the goal, brilliant. Other than that, he didn't really do a great deal. I felt just seemed a bit there at times. He did have moments where he picked up the ball and had a good few chances at times, but it just either the wrong decision or just poor finishing. And then Jota's, again, Jota's brilliant, but not his best. I don't think it was anyone's best game per se. Uh, so yeah, it could have been better. Definitely could have been worse. Could have lost, but we turned it around. And Harvey Elliott, I love the celebration. Absolutely love the celebration. You can tell he's so happy playing for Liverpool. He wants to be here. It's the club he supported since he was a kid. He is still essentially a kid, but he's so talented. And I got the question posed to me a few weeks ago if I was to rank him, Badge, and Jones, and I've always said he'd be the top because he is. He when he comes on, he influences the game. He changes things up. He makes things happen. He's that type of player. He's talented, and he saw it in the Newcastle game when he came on. The ball comes off him to go to Salah, which he puts through to Nunez. He just makes the difference, and he did it today. He comes on and he's outstanding. He gets the goal. He makes things happen. He's on the forward foot, and he's a player that I want to see stay at this club for a long, long time because he really does have potential. Yeah, over it. This is just a quick discussion about it. I'm gonna do a Premier League one tomorrow on Monday even. Yeah, that is tomorrow. Um, we were top of the table for a bit. Of course, Man City happened. 5 wins in a row for them. Outrageous. And it's one of those things, unfortunately, where we just need City to drop points if we're going to mount a title challenge. I'm still not convinced that's going to happen. If I'm being completely pessimistic, I'm quite a half glass, half empty kind of fan. We need to get out of this habit of conceding first and then chasing the game because it doesn't do us any favors. Eventually, it's going to catch up to us, much like it did a lot last season. Brentford, Bournemouth, Wolves. It will we can't keep doing it. It's not going to work. And I think any Liverpool fan would agree with me on that one. Currently, we're third, with Tottenham getting their win as well, which I'll discuss on tomorrow. Ridiculous. The latest um, match winning goals in Premier League history. I think it was the 98th and the 100th or something like that. Ridiculous. And Richarlison getting a goal and assists is good for him, but I don't know. I'm not a Richarlison fan, so I'll be honest about that. But yeah, just a quick review. Just wanted to get a video out. Overall performance, 7 out of 10. If it had been based on that first half, it would have been a 3 or a 4 because we were dreadful in that first half. Thank you very much for watching.